Tesla just climbed back above $400 even after a major recall headline. And to me, that is the real story today, because when a stock rises after bad news, it usually means the market is looking at something bigger. So today, we're not just asking, did Tesla stock go up? We're asking, why did investors buy Tesla despite the recall? And what does this tell us about Tesla's next growth story? Hi everyone, welcome back to Life in the Future. Tesla had a very interesting day. On one side, Tesla issued a recall for roughly 219,000 vehicles in the United States. The issue is related to a possible delay in the rear view camera display when the car is shifted into reverse. For Tesla owners, this is important. The rear camera is directly connected to safety, so this is definitely something owners should check. But from an investor's point of view, the key detail is that Tesla is fixing this through an over-the-air software update. This is not a traditional recall where every car needs to go to a service center for a major hardware replacement, and that changes how the market sees the issue. The recall still matters, but investors may have viewed it as a manageable software issue, not a major structural problem. That is one reason why Tesla stock did not collapse. Instead, TSLA bounced from the high 380s and briefly reclaimed the $400 level. That is important because $400 is not just a number, it is a psychological level that traders, institutions, and retail investors all watch. But I don't think we should overreact to one daily move. The bigger question is this: can Tesla hold this level? And what story is supporting the move? Because if Tesla is rising only because of short-term momentum, that is one thing. But if investors are starting to focus again on Tesla's long-term growth platforms, that is much more important. And one of the biggest stories behind the move is Terafab. Reports suggest that Tesla and SpaceX could be connected to a massive semiconductor manufacturing facility in Texas. The number being discussed is huge, around $55 billion at the initial stage, with some reports suggesting the long-term scale could become even larger. Now we need to be careful here. This is not guaranteed profit. A giant factory does not automatically make Tesla more valuable, but as a strategic signal, it matters. Tesla's future is not only about selling more Model Ys. The next growth story depends on FSD, Robotaxi, Optimus, AI training, data centers, and the deeper control of hardware and software. All of those areas require chips. They require compute. They require supply chain control. So if Tesla is seriously thinking about a giant semiconductor facility, investors may see that as Tesla trying to control more of the full AI stack. Not just the car, not just the software, but the infrastructure underneath autonomy and robotics. For long-term investors, Terafab is not a short-term earnings story. It is an optionality story. It tells us where Tesla may be trying to go over the next decade, but the risk is also clear. A $55 billion project requires capital, permits, construction, suppliers, technical execution, and time. Even if everything goes well, it may take years before investors see the real financial impact. So yes, Terafab is a positive growth narrative, but it is also a major execution challenge. That balance is very important. Next, let's talk about Tesla Semi. WattEV reportedly plans to bring in 370 Tesla Semis in a deal worth around $100 million. This is easy to overlook, but I think it matters. Tesla Semi is not just another vehicle. It is connected to fleets, logistics, operating costs, charging infrastructure, and commercial demand. For investors, the key question is not whether the Semi looks impressive. The real question is whether companies that operate trucks every day are willing to adopt it. This WattEV news suggests that real demand may be starting to appear. But again, We need to separate orders from execution. Tesla still has to scale production, deliver vehicles reliably, and prove the economics for fleet customers. If Tesla can do that, Semi could become another growth engine. If not, it remains a promising but limited product. Now, there is also a risk investors should not ignore: FSD in Europe. European regulators are reportedly still cautious about Tesla's FSD approval. Their concerns include speed behavior, performance in icy road conditions, driver attention, and whether the name full self-driving could mislead consumers. This matters because Tesla's autonomy story is not only a technology story, it is also a regulation story. Just because FSD moves forward in the United States does not mean Europe will approve it at the same speed. Different markets have different safety standards and different levels of regulatory caution. So investors should not assume a straight line global rollout. Tesla may make progress in one region while facing delays in another. That does not destroy the FSD story, but it can affect timing, and timing matters for valuation. So when we put everything together, today's Tesla story is mixed. The positive side is clear. Tesla stock reclaimed $400. The recall appears software fixable through OTA. Terafab supports the AI infrastructure narrative. Tesla Semi may be gaining real commercial traction, and the market seems willing to look beyond short-term negative headlines. But the risks are also real. The recall still matters for owners. FSD approval outside the United States may take longer than expected. Terafab requires massive investment and strong execution. Semi still needs production scale, and one move above $400 does not automatically confirm a new long-term uptrend. So my view is this: the market is not saying Tesla has no problems. The market is saying Tesla's future potential may still be large enough to outweigh some of today's problems. So what should investors watch next? First, can TSLA hold the $400 level? Touching $400 is one thing, staying above it is another. Second, does the recall software fix rollout smoothly? If the update works without major issues, this recall may fade quickly. Third, do we get more concrete details about Terafab? Investors need to know the timeline, funding, partners, and actual production plan. Fourth, do Tesla Semi orders turn into real deliveries? A large order is good, but real fleet deployment is what confirms demand. And fifth, how does Europe handle FSD? That could become one of the most important tests for Tesla's autonomy strategy. So here is my conclusion. Tesla reclaiming $400 is definitely positive, but I would not look at this as just a stock chart story. The deeper story is that investors may be starting to focus again on Tesla's future platforms: AI chips, Robotaxi, Optimus, Semi, FSD, energy, and infrastructure. These are the areas that could change Tesla's long-term value, but they also come with execution risk. That is why long-term investors need to stay balanced. We should not ignore the risks, but we also should not miss the strategic direction. Tesla is still one of the few companies trying to connect vehicles, AI, robotics, energy, and manufacturing into one ecosystem. That is why the stock can move higher even when the headlines are mixed. For Tesla owners, the practical takeaway is simple. Check your software updates and make sure your vehicle is up to date. For Tesla investors, the takeaway is bigger. Do not only ask whether the stock is above or below $400. Ask why the market is willing to pay that price. Is it short-term momentum, or is it renewed belief in Tesla's next growth cycle? That is the real question. As long-term investors, we should watch the price but focus on the business, because real value is not created by crossing one price level. It is created when Tesla turns vision into products, scale, revenue, and cash flow. Thanks for watching. If you want to follow Tesla not just as a car company, but as an AI, robotics, energy, and technology platform, make sure to subscribe. Let's keep thinking long term. Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I drive a Tesla Model Y, and at home, I've installed a Tesla Powerwall, so I actually charge my car with solar energy. I truly believe Tesla is shaping the future, and that's why I share the latest news and insights here on this channel. I'm from Japan, but I want to connect with Tesla fans all around the world. That's why I also create an English version of my videos. YouTube now lets you switch the audio into your own language, so you can enjoy it in whatever language you prefer. Most of all, I'd love to connect with Tesla fans everywhere so we can support Tesla together. I also share updates on X, so feel free to follow me there and let's connect. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.